What's up, you guys? Shadow DPS here. Quick question for you. What do you think about electric motorcycles compared to gas combustion motorcycles? So yeah, electric motorcycles are getting more and more pressed these days. Look at this fool. Getting a lot more pressed than go. I don't trust you, man. Electric motorcycles are getting a lot more press nowadays. Come on, let's go. Due to a lot of reasons. Basically, they represent an alternative energy solution to gas, which is always a good thing. We want to decrease our reliance on traditional means of energy. So yeah, alternative energy is always a good thing. So basically, our electric motorcycles a viable option for most motorcyclists, and I think it's becoming more and more of a viable option. Number one, it does represent a very efficient, very cost-effective alternative. Electric motorcycles have a lot of power. I mean, they can go from 0 to 60 just as fast as any gas-powered motorcycle. The maintenance of electric motorcycles is actually a little bit less demanding than gas-powered motorcycles. You don't have to worry about changing the oil or fuel pumps, doing maintenance on fuel pumps, oil pumps, any of that. All you have is a battery, and the big things that you have to worry about with regards to maintaining an electric motorcycle are the same as gas-powered motorcycles, with the exception of engine components. Like brake pads, tires, that type of thing. Basic consumables. The major downside with electric motorcycles is, of course, the range. The battery capacity of electric motorcycles aren't such that they can carry enough capacity to take an electric motorcycle long distances. I think some of the limit for most electric motorcycles is probably around 100 miles between charges, and that may not be bad for folks who want to commute on their motorcycle. I mean, the commuting distance for most motorcyclists probably is maybe 20 miles, 30 miles round trip a day, perhaps a little bit more. So that falls within the range of most electric motorcycles. So that's not a bad option. Electric motorcycles are a little bit more expensive than their gas-powered counterparts. I think the Victory Impulse is close to about $20,000. However, you may gain a little bit with regards to cost and fuel, gas versus electricity. Maintenance may be a little less in the long run. And again, the big downside is not being able to travel long distances. But if you're just going to use the motorcycle for commuting, then hey, it may be a viable solution, you know. Would I buy an electric motorcycle? Yeah, I think I would. Not as my only motorcycle, but as a supplement. Let's see, the other downside to electric motorcycles is that they tend to depreciate quite a bit faster than their gas-powered counterparts, and that's simply because electric motorcycle technology is evolving pretty fast. I mean, from a year-to-year basis, there's huge increases in the amount of torque, the amount of range, or the amount of power that, you know, some of these electric motorcycles are coming out with each year. So older model electric motorcycles will tend to depreciate a lot faster than their gas-powered counterparts. So that's something that you have to watch out for. Some other things that I will be concerned about is they are extremely quiet. In other words, I'm not sure if people driving cars or, you know, pedestrians nearby will be able to hear an electric motorcycle coming. So that could be a negative. I mean, it could be, it may not be. That also means that the rider of the electric motorcycle can hear a lot better, can hear their surroundings a lot better. So could be plus or it could be minus. But I do think electric motorcycles could be a viable option. Number one, they're pretty efficient, just like I talked about before. They represent an alternative to gas-powered motorcycles, and again, you know, I'm all in favor of looking at alternative means of power. Number two, they have just as much torque from 0 to 60 as any gas-powered motorcycle. Top end speed probably isn't as high, but you know, from 0 to 60, you know, some of these motorcycles are pretty competitive. And the price isn't cost prohibitive. I mean, you probably gain some efficiency in the long term as far as cost. Less maintenance cost, less fuel cost. I think the fuel cost in terms of electricity is probably like around I'm gonna say 1 to 2 cents per mile, which is pretty impressive. Another downside to electric motorcycles is the infrastructure. The current infrastructure here in the United States as far as charging stations, it's just not where it needs to be. I mean, I think it's getting there and it will eventually get there, but right now, I think right now there's about 25,000 electric power stations countrywide, but there may not be enough to really make it attractive for most people to buy electric motorcycles, because people they don't want to be limited to the distance, and they would be limited somewhat by purchasing an electric motorcycle. However, if what you want to do is commute or just drive around town a bit here and there, then it may not be a bad idea. May not be a bad thing for you. So yeah, tell me what you think. Would you purchase an electric motorcycle, or would you want to stick with the gas-powered motorcycles? Let me know in the comment section, and please subscribe. Talk to you later. Peace.